Alright guys, we are here in Oshawa. I'm going to walk you through a house that on paper is going to look like it's a legal duplex. And based on the setup, it's also going to look like a legal duplex. But in reality, this property, one, is not a legal duplex, and two, it cannot be converted into a legal duplex. So I'll show you guys the MLS listing and I'll show you how people can essentially be fooled by this listing in thinking that they're buying a legal investment property. And I also want to walk you through the house and show you that this in fact does look like a legal duplex. And then we'll get into reasons why this property can't be legalized now or in the future. So let's walk through the property and I'm going to show you what I'm talking about. So this is the typical bungalow in Oshawa where we have 3 bedrooms. Each of the bedrooms will look like this essentially. And there's going to be 2 bedrooms at the back of the house with a bathroom, with 1 bathroom upstairs. If we walk back and go into the kitchen, you're going to notice that this unit has its own kitchen, which is great, but if you follow me, it also has a separate door into the basement unit, and the basement unit has a separate entrance as well. So as we go to the basement, you're going to notice that a lot of the aspects of this house will meet the legal requirements for a legal duplex. So for example, there's a fire separated door here, which is really good. You come down, the lower unit has its own kitchen. There's a large living space here. There are 2 bedrooms at the back of the house, each having their own window, and then there's a separate bathroom down here as well. And here they've actually created it properly where there's a common area and then there's shared laundry in one of the rooms. So you can see that this property can come across as if it's a legal property, or even if it's not, it would be fairly simple to convert, because in order to get fire separation, you have to get fire separation on the ceiling, which is common. Oftentimes people will buy properties that are not necessarily legal now but have the option to be legalized, and one of the steps to make sure that you legalize that property is to make sure that there's fire separation. So opening the ceiling, getting in 2 layers of rock salt insulation, getting in resilient channeling, and then putting in a fire rated drywall. So this property, yes, can be done with getting fire separation on the ceiling, but there's an underlying issue which is going to stop us from doing that. So let's go in fact to the backyard and try and figure out what that issue is. So if we go to the backyard, so you're going to notice that we have a fairly large backyard here, which is great, but you're going to notice that behind the fenced area, there are some trees there. And in fact, I know that this property sits on a floodplain. So what that means is that there's a creek nearby, and I'm going to show you guys on a map. There's a creek nearby, and when I often see creeks, I want to do an in-depth due diligence on the property. So the city of Oshawa has an interactive map where you can actually type in the address of the property and you can look at the various regulations, limits that are on that property. So because I know that this area has a creek nearby, I've done that, and I'm going to show you guys on the screen here. And on the screen, you can see that when I check off CLOCA regulations, this part of Oshawa is regulated, and there's a limitation as to what you can do in terms of future development. So as you can see on the screen, this house is within that limit. So that means that the future use of this property cannot be changed. So the highest and best use of this property is actually in its current form. So you can't do future development in the back. So once there's regulation passed for garden suites, for example, this property will not be eligible for that. And if you purchase this property and you want to legalize it, you also won't be able to do that because it's sitting on a floodplain and there are regulations on this property. So The whole point of this video was to show you how, you know, you can be fooled, or you can be shown that you're buying an investment property that can be legalized in the future, but in fact there are several regulations that would stop you from doing that. All right, guys, with that said, that's not to say that you should never buy these type of properties. If the price is right and if the rental income justifies the purchase price, then you should consider, you know, making this purchase. Now, the whole point of this video is to you know, get the information across to you that you should be aware of these regulations and the limits that exist in each municipalities, and for you to do additional due diligence. Now, if you need help, or if you're looking for a realtor who specializes in the Oshawa region and someone who can do a deep dive on the property for you to make sure that you're aware of all the aspects of the property, feel free to reach out to me. Everything will be, all my contact information will be available for you down below. Thanks for checking out the video. Make sure to subscribe so you can stay up to date with new videos coming out.